What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 4 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Mother Ostankya Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, in order to get to the Red Tsar Boris Ursus confederated before he was wiped out, we basically declared war on like all of chaos around us. Throg, Archaon, and Daniel and their vassals and allies as well. We got a lot of chaos full stacks staring across the water at us, and a lot of them have some concerning troops with chosen aspiring champions. Of course, the lords themselves. Archie's at rank 20, which is pretty impressive considering Stanka's only at 24 herself. So we're gonna have to deal with this, and it'll be it'll be something. Anyway, in addition to that, as promised between the episodes, I redid the little battle. Fought the battle at Uskalek to raise it this time, not just sack it, though I'm still happy with the amount of cash that we got from it the first time. Obviously, we could have occupied it, and eventually we most likely will, as it's a great territory to sort of hold back anything that comes out of the Darklands, but right now we're really too spread out, and we need a Stanka to move up here. We can't build any further armies at this time, and we really don't need to be dealing with Astrogoth, so we've wiped that out. We're going to take Fort Dwarslav, and I'm going to hope after that these guys will be willing to peace out. We'll see. We might still be a little bit too weak army-wise for them to be willing, although -6 isn't too bad. And these guys just need to get a teensy bit weaker, and who knows if they continue fighting other factions around. It's a distinct possibility. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this particular turn, I'm not actually sure that there is anything. Who are you again? Oh, we got a free Patriarch. What do you have here? Vanguard. Bonuses for fighting. I mean, it will keep you for now. I think we can recruit Patriarchs at a higher level, or we'll be able to soon. Yeah, we can recruit them at tier 5, in fact. And let's see, we got Strongholder, we got Intelligent. Okay, frankly, I don't really like any of these. I guess the physical resistance ain't too bad. We'll give them a few turns. We'll see if they turn into something better. But for now, I guess we're ready to end the turn while we head this Patriarch towards this army. Why not? These guys are going to be fighting chaos after all. Plus, I mean, these aren't SFO traits, so the vanilla traits don't matter nearly as much as those other traits do. Let's skip the rest of this, and I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anything. I think in order to fight these armies, we might also have to start using the Witch's Hut, so there is that to consider. And we've switched the text to Toil and Trouble to get another secondary trinket slot unlocked. And is that the 4th one? Yes, that's the 4th one. Beautiful. Huh, I wonder if that increases the spirit essence cost of this. I guess we'll find out as we end the turn. Alright, and I am going to assume that these guys are all going to be heading toward us. I see Fator/Danny is moving southward. If they go out to sea... okay, we got one out to sea right now. Archie has not embarked as yet, meaning we might be able to hit Mercy Pulsator and possibly even get back. Ooh, hello. And we have completed the Frozen Outpost, Ulrika's quest, and we've already read this. And have done the same thing with a Golden Knight. And hello. Alright, so the Golden Knight is here. Nariska Lesa, the Golden Knight of Kislev. The Golden Knight arrives, consecrated by the cult of Ursun and decreed by the Ice Court, a beacon of strength and an icon of Kislev. As the most feared combatant in the Motherland's ranks, her influence on the battle lines will be immense, while her late father's association with Boris Ursus affords her considerable bureaucratic gravitas, which could be of use to you. Which role would you give her first? So, we get her either way. This first thing gives us bonuses for Zargard and Iceguard, so basically nothing. And okay, both of these bonuses are terrible. I guess the diplomatic relations bonus with other Kislevite factions will help us in terms of continuing to trade with the Orthodoxy, so we'll do that. Icon of Kislev. Alright, and yes, she's on field. Now, I did want to double check whether she does anything in particular for Zargard. And, oh, we didn't finish Ulrika's quest. We need to amass a treasury of 15,000 gold. All right, that's going to take a bit. Let's give this a read as well, then. And the reports were not exaggerated. Bodies abound were discovered, clawed, savaged, and feasted upon by some unholy creature. A peasant is encountered who speaks of a near-deadly encounter with a naked feral vampire before the intervention of an aristocrat known as Countess Gabriella prevented him from becoming the creature's victim. Curiously, the Countess addressed the naked vampire as Ulrika. If this is Ulrika Straghoff, missing daughter of the deceased Ivan Straghoff, Ivan, whatever, who had warned Serena Katrin of the impending chaos invasion, then further investigation is required. The peasant believes the Countess and Ulrika have retreated to Nachthofen Castle. Entering the citadel will require you to masquerade as nobility, best achieved with the help of a gold-laden treasure vault. I'm really hoping that it doesn't take our 15,000 money, because that wouldn't be so great. Alright, well, Golden Knight's on field, and that armor's always looked absolutely glorious. We should probably have her in an army with some Griffin Legion, just because they'll match. And will look fantastic. On the bright side, though, we will put her in Ostankya's army for now, because this will give us the benefit of allowing us to... How far can you move? Okay, pretty far. This will give us the benefit of allowing us to... Move here, please. Actually fight single entities. Plus, the Golden Knight is really, really annoying with her Totem of Ursus silence abilities and magical negation. Frankly, she'll probably be really helpful against Archaon. Anyway, what I wanted to see was this. So she gives spell resistance, army-wide, recruit rank for Zargard... Golden Aegis, Loyal Guardians. Okay, nothing here directly buffs Zargard. Right? No. I don't see anything. I do like the word save for the accompanying lord. Technically, she should be with Serena Katrin, but, well, until we get Serena Katrin, then, yeah. You know what? I think we have enough spiders. We will merge you guys together into one unit. Not a big deal. They had barely any veterancy to speak of anyway, and we'll put the Golden Knight in this army. Alright, I do wish this army was healing up more, but we still need to take forward Dwarslav and Carrick-Doom, and we'll just have to be happy with what we've got here. Besides, our single entities are more or less at full HP thanks to the addition of the Patriarch and such, and speaking of the Patriarch, and just gotta get another point in replenish troops, and yeah, Saliak's Lullaby, oh, those heals. They've been much needed. Etc. We will also probably need to decornify this entire province with the purification chant, which we will do as soon as we head to Carrick-Doom, most likely. Well, there's still a decent amount of coordinate corruption, but better the enemies start from zero. Next, we will go for the techs. We don't need or can't really use anything here. What we can do... Where were we again? I forget. We were here? No. Damn. It was something... Oh, it was this. Gospodar governance, all the way to construction cost reduction. For province capitals and settlements, it's 25%, which is pretty darn significant. Ooh, as soon as we take forward Dwarslav, we'll get a second Ataman, which is quite nice as well. Money, well, we don't really have it, so we can't spend it. You, Yelena Shevchenko, will go into Borodin Rybkin's army. You, sir, have a few points. What do we have here? Glorious charge for you. Shatter, you get a breath ability, increased splash attack power, versus Bulwark of the Permafrost, giving you hold the line, melee defense +5. Effect range for rally and stand your... Oh, that's actually really nice. Damn. I was very tempted by making you a stronger fighter, but this essentially buffs the army fairly significantly, so I'm going to say Bulwark of the Permafrost. Especially considering you're the leader currently of our ranged army with those Streltsy, or soon-to-be Streltsy, hopefully soon-to-be Streltsy, meaning the stand your ground will be really helpful for them when they inevitably do get charged by stuff. Otherwise, what else would we want to put in to the Streltsy army to help them out? Probably will use some beasts, although for now they're not going to benefit from the rank 7s, and in fact it's going to take a while to get to them, so maybe we can make you into a fighter. Is there any reason to go through this tree, I wonder? Nothing crazy, but you're probably going to be facing off against some powerful lords relatively shortly. Oh, Quartermaster is here, though. Yeah, that's an issue. The Streltsy will probably at least want a couple of little Groms with them as well, but maybe we start heading towards Quartermaster. It's not like these guys are hybrid lords, meaning they don't have to split their points with magics, meaning we should be able to go through the blue line, and the expensive units are, well, expensive, go figure. I guess Reassuring Presence is the way to go. I mean, Devotion is nice as well, but this is one of our fighty armies, probably not a strongholder army, so yeah, let's get 2 points in Reassuring Presence, even if it doesn't help the... help this particular fight. And speaking of this particular fight, and oh, where are you going? Okay, you go here. This guy might actually sail down here, ignoring everything to go to Temple of Heimkel, but we can't get another army on field. Wait, how many turns until we get Boris? 1 turn. Okay, nearly there. You, Yevgeny Dmitriev, are going to go right here. And I'm hoping that this army won't run. Oh, wow, they have the frickin' Severed Claw. That's gonna be iffy. I hate that unit. They're always such an issue. But otherwise, it's very mobile. Well, the trolls are annoying, but yeah, we can deal with it. We can deal with it. Damaged even though we are. Go. Don't run. And he will not run. Pyrrhic Victory. We'll get the Wailing Banner on... I was gonna put it on board in here, but I guess we can... You know, let's just in case put it on the Frost Maiden, maybe. Something like that. Not that it's going to be super helpful, but she can maybe help out with holding one of the flanks against the giant pile of Chaos Warhands. Anyway, go!
After all Kislev has endured, why would we ever quiver before these milk stops?
Oh, that was the end of the speech. Okay, okay, fair enough. Should be a pretty interesting fight. The enemy has a... I don't know, somewhat odd army composition, I suppose. Half of their stack is made up of dogs and horses, but then instead of infantry, they have monstrous infantry with all those troll units, which is a little bit odd and a little bit interesting, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, the doggos are going to attempt to flank us, which is good for the doggos, I guess, because they don't rush directly at the piles of Kossars and the piles of, Kossars and armored Kossars. Unfortunately, while I did download the mod that gives the less effects thing, it doesn't seem to affect this particular ability, which is unfortunate. Maybe it's a new ability, I don't know, but I hate seeing it. But what can you do? At least it'll only be visible in the spider armies, and I'll try to limit the spider armies, I guess, to 2, so we don't have to deal with seeing the seeing that effect all over the place. To be honest, if I could undo that tech just to keep them to poison, even if it does make them less effective, I would do it. But it is what it is. Anyway, enemy Exalted Hero of Tzeentch has arrived together with the doggos and the horses, and immediately gets himself surrounded and allowing for our Boyar to attack him. And it does look like he can send that Boyar staggering back. On occasion, we are still waiting for the rest of the main enemy army to arrive, and it looks like, unlike the doggos, the horsemen are actually staying with the rest of the main enemy formation and will be charging us together with the trolls. The big, scary unit here is, of course, that Severed Claw Aspiring Champions unit. They are insane, and they are so dang difficult to bring down, pretty much no matter what you use, so, yeah. Anyway, looks like the first of the enemy are charging on through, and here come the arrows, and here come the guns. Looks like the Boydenaz Brawlers will only get a single volley up, but that's alright, it's not horrible. These guys got 45-44 melee attack and defense. They are named for brawling, and brawling they can do. Looks like we get hit with the blue fire from the blue horrors and the pink fires, or actually that was blue fire as well, from the enemy lord, as our main line does get charged. We do keep our main range units up above, away from the water, whereas our melee adjacent units are down in the water below, keeping the enemy slowed down and fighting them where they're slowed, in case our range units need to back off. The trolls, together with the aspiring champions of the Severed Claw, are going to be a very, very nasty combination, but at least there's a lot of units that the enemy can't protect. We send in some bats and some Kossovite dervishes to annoy the chromatic aberrations. It's chromatic abominations? Huh, I thought it was chromatic aberrations. I guess it doesn't really matter over much. I almost feel like Aberrations feels more appropriate for Tzeentch than Abominations. I guess they both work. Anyway, I mean, Abominations would work for every Chaos God, wouldn't they? To some degree. Anyway, we're still holding off the Nurglings and what remains of the Trolls and the Marauders, but the balance of power has shifted to about 70% in our favor at the current time. Our bats are chasing off the Exalted Hero, which unfortunately does have that Disc of Tzeentch that they're riding, and thus we can't really catch up to it, but at least the bats will make sure that the hero flies off the field rather than rallying and launching any more attacks on us. Alright, and gotta be careful of those blunderbusses bringing down a few of our watchmen in the night. And in fact, we should probably back them off and just allow our range units to kill the trolls. Now, the Severed Claw have arrived, and they are still at full HP, but being a very slow unit. And having taken a while to get here, the rest of most of the enemy army has been destroyed by range and by melee alike. The chromatic abominations are melting away, and the Severed Claw are still confident. Well, as well they should be. It's gonna be, despite the rest of the entire enemy army being dead, it's still going to be very difficult to bring these guys down. And I'm sure they're heavily damaging our Boyar as well, who's popped that Opal Amulet. On the bright side, however, and unfortunately for the Severed Claw, though they could have very well still fought, only having shed about 10% of their HP in damage, while taking half of our Lord's HP, and getting 19 kills, the rest of their army has been destroyed, and thus the Severed Claw will shatter. Unfortunately for them, that is going to be an issue because they are very, very slow, and we should still be able to slowly but surely hunt them down, and especially by applying the Watchmen in the night as well as our lords to destroy them. Lovely. Oh, and they turn into the Chaos Spawn, which we don't really need to bother with. Alrighty, well, we did manage to pull it off, but, well, we did take a fair bit of damage, close victory and all that, and, Now, I'd wager we won't have enough marching stance range, or just generally range, to actually chase after the enemy. We do want money, but I think we might actually have to heal up here after all that, because, well, we saw how many armies the enemy is running around with. And then nothing else would be helpful here. Alright, we'll do that. We'll save activating any of the trinkets for these guys, potentially. What do we have here? Manus of Ursun. Base weapon damage plus 12% can cause 19 seconds just to get Rampage. That's terrible. No. No, thank you. No, thank you. A Rampage is too dangerous. A Warhorse for you, great. Another tax collector, and can we get back to our own territory? Alright, you can. That's good. And we will not chase that army down and destroy it, even though it would have been nice to do so. And then you can go here as well.
Make sail.
We won't be able to heal to full here either, but, well, better than nothing. And, oh, you can actually go back to regular stance. Now, I take it you guys can recruit here? You can recruit some basic Kossars. You know what, I think we'll need more Kislevite warriors for this, so let's get a couple of those, though the tremendous cost of everything right now. And you guys will level, but I don't think anybody here can hit us in one turn anyway, so we don't have to be too concerned about it, at least leveling up and stuff yet. You, Ataman, have also leveled up. Still waiting to get to rank 12, but it's going to be a while. Let's get Introspector for that 10 research rate as well. We also have 3 and 2 of the boons now, and last time we were looking through the boons, we saw some good ones in Dominion. Diplomatic Relations and Devotion +1 is good, but I don't... what was this? Upkeep minus 10% when in own territory. I'm going to do that immediately. Because, well, let's face it, a lot of the time we're going to be in our own territory. The other thing that we wanted was... Let's see, construction for infrastructure buildings. Every owned settlement provides 1% income and +5 growth to all adjacent settlements. That's pretty nice. Unity and Toil. I just want to double check if there's anything else that would be nice. Population +1 for newly captured settlements is pretty solid as well. Is it better than Unity and Toil? It depends on how large of an empire we grow, well, shortly. 10% campaign movement range after winning a battle is quite nice as well. Experience gain for units plus 100% when fighting the forces of chaos. We're doing that a lot right now, and it might enable us to get some good stuff. Construction cost for... oh, that's just orthodoxy stuff. Yeah, I think out of all this, I'm kind of tempted to get the extra experience gain. We do want to evolve these guys to Streltsy ASAP because we really need them to face off against Chosen and stuff. Let's do that. Although Chaos Breaker is kind of, well, free Cataclysm spell is nice. When fighting Chaos specifically, and let's face it, at least in the early game, we'll be fighting a lot of Chaos. I still do very much want Unity and Toil, but maybe it'll take it'll take second fiddle to Duty's reward, though, oh wow, these guys are now... oh, I need to fight something. Anyway, Ostankya is good where she is. You can't go into channeling stance, can you? No, unfortunately you cannot. Alright, do we have any money? Not really. Can we spend it on anything? Similarly, probably not really. We could try to upgrade Frozen Landing. Does that... it's just so expensive. It's so insanely expensive. I mean, everything is right now. We could try to start moving. You know what? Maybe we'll start upgrading Temple of Heimkel and just hope that nobody is able to reach it. I mostly want it for the iron because it does give us upkeep reduction for all armies, making iron by far the most valuable of the... I don't even care what all the other stuff does. Iron will be the most valuable of the trade goods. Alright. Stanitsa, Temple of Heimkel then. And we'll hope we can hold with what we've got. Let's check Diplo and then let's end the turn. What do we have here? Alright, nothing Diplo-wise, unfortunately. And Gotrek and Felix, we can't do that battle yet. We need better troops. Building upgrade available... We're also busy. Not doing anything there, and no heroes. I really wish the Patriarchs didn't cost so much, but it is what it is. And then the turn. Alrighty. And let's see, we've got Fator / Danny Boy having set sail. Will Archie set sail towards us as well? You should think that our army or armies are weak right now. I'm also curious to see whether Mercy... yeah, so Mercy Pulsator is going to move together with Archie, which is interesting. Certainly going to make this a little bit tougher. Northern Provinces and Celestial Loyalists Confederated. Not as great for us because we lose the trade agreement with them. Borosursus is ready, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he will be up and running immediately, because we might not have the levels. Northern provinces do want to trade with us. Okay, good. So loss of a trade, but gain of a trade, so that's fine. If we join your war against Session, we can do this non-aggression pact for now. I just want to get friendly with Cathay as fast as possible, because we'll want several of their units, most likely. Alright, anything else interesting here? No, and we don't really care about Eschen, because they're too far away from us to be of any kind of concern. Ostankya. You're gonna head towards Fort Dwarslav and then up to Carrick Doom. We'll leave Archie and... oh, you gotta be kidding me. Doesn't want to peace out, but... we could try to keep Ostankya. Nah, probably not. I was gonna say maybe we could try to ambush him, but it's kind of iffy. It's kind of iffy. And what do we have here? Basically nothing. I'm gonna hope that this doesn't trounce our spiders. Damages them, but nothing horrific. And then we'll occupy it. Though I am tempted by loot and occupy. This is a complete province now, so we'll leave it as it is. Alright, enemy killed in battle, Fear of Aramar. Alright, that'll be useful. And Oath Brothers of Tor, Warbear Riders up and running with the arrival of the Red Tsar, so that's good. We're gonna pop you in to purge the steppes immediately, I think, for the bonus devotion. And I don't know whether we'll actually build anything here right now. Next, what we need to do is we need to check Boris. We're not going to sally out and attack Archie in the field, I think. I mean, we could try it. We do have the Patriarch with us now. And we... let me think here. You have firing drills, which... if we replace you, do you keep your movement? Okay, wait, I don't know. But if you do, then we can actually sally... oh, wait, this has a set effect on it. Melee defense +5 if we combine it with Great Bear Pelt, I still don't like the Rampage, though. I guess we don't necessarily have to use it. Right? it's an augment, or wait, or does it just randomly pop off? In that case, that would not be good. You know what? We're going to take you, we're going to replace Lord. We'll get you back, sir. But if we do this... Yes, okay, so we do keep the movement range with Boris. Then... he has Leader of Renown and Firing Drills. We're gonna have to reset him. Unfortunately, the AI completely screwed Boris over. That doesn't mean that he can't fight at least one fight. He also has the upkeep reduction for Warbearer Riders, although if we reset him, that upkeep reduction will be gone. And obviously the buff for the Zargard. We also have to figure out in which way we want to mix monstrous units into his army. Regen for and Elemental Bears as well. And he really buffs a lot of units, whereas some lords buff nothing. Yeah, and he has buffs for the Elemental Bears as well. Do you like the base weapon damage +4? This will make even basic units quite a bit stronger. Anyway, you have your Shard Blade and you have your Armor of Ursun. You have both, meaning we don't unfortunately get a quest from you. We'll give you the Potion of Healing, because you may have to deal with Archaon. And... oh, I forgot we get a Frost Shard armor, even though it's kind of atrocious. Talisman. Deepwood Branch is useless to you. Obsidian Amulet's kind of useless to you. We could give you the Dawnstone instead of Mother Ostankya. Or, you know what, let's give you the Opal Amulet for now. You're probably going to have a lot more of a tough time fighting Archie than he will fighting the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Alright, and... ooh, there's another issue. So you have Firing Drills. What do you also have Firing Drills, though. Yeah. Alright. Just to double check. Rally and stand your ground. Let's keep going through Reassuring Presence. Well, this is gonna be costly. We are going to summon the Oath Brothers of Tor for you. I mean, it's Archaon, right? He does have the Swords of Chaos, so we'll have to... we'll need something to deal with that. Oh, he does have the Hell Cannon as well. We could also try another thing. Let me think here. Well, first of all, let's get the Patriarch in here into Boris army for now. And I did want to also double-check other Patriarchs, just in case. What do we have here? Hey, a tough one. That's not bad. Probably the one that we're going to get in here. This guy's moving. And if we leave him there, he'll probably go to the Temple of Heimkel. Now, the reason I'm sort of waffling on this is I really don't want to waste all this money on the Oath Brothers of Tor if we're going to reset this guy. I mean, he will keep both of these guys most likely in his army, but another 600 gold per turn. It's iffy. Oh, what is this? Ataman. Oh, we got the new Ataman. Right. +5, and only this one has the bonus money. And right now we need the money more than anything else, though I suppose... oh, they started level 0. Interesting. And the anti-corruption doesn't really help us, but the growth is also minimal. 3 devotion ain't too bad. I just wish that this wasn't devotion and growth here. This guy has 6 devotion. We could put him into new territories to get their devotion up high, so we could pop off their devotion things. Though on the other hand, no, money. And the reason I don't care as much about devotion is because in vanilla, it doesn't matter nearly as much in certain territories. It will matter in chaos territories to negate the climate, but here it won't matter much. So we'll just leave it as it is. Alright, screw it. I really want this fight, so we're gonna do it. Alright, don't make me regret this game. I guess we want the defeat trait. Well, technically we want the defeat trait on both. And the likelihood of actually bringing down Archaon is relatively low as well. Meaning we attack Mercy and allow Archaon to move in as a reinforcement. Yeah, Boris, relax. If we attack this guy, though, and then we attack with Boris... okay, fine. It is what it is. And we want the defeat trait, so we're going to attack like this. Also, let's level you up because we have to get the Gust of Truth. Oh, it's only the basic version. I guess we could at least use it on the... use it on the Boydnov's Brawlers to make them do increased damage. I'm almost tempted to steal half this guy's army. He only has firing drills, and none of this benefits as much. Just swap armies, more or less.
For the Motherland. Find a fight.
Alright, I'm gonna regret this either game. Let us then take your armored Cossars, Watchmen in the Night, and then, well, it's mostly the range units that we need. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll leave the Horse Archers to you. This is 23, 28. You can lose the Cave Bats and the Kossovite Dervishes because they can come in as reinforcements. And you're now at 18. You can take 2 more Kislevite Warriors, I guess. Although, well, I guess if you both have firing drills, it doesn't really matter. Do we want to put the Frostmaiden in Boris's army, maybe? Probably won't matter over much. Oh, she's not on a horse yet, is she? No, you know what? Then yeah, she should go in Boris's army. Because we want fast things moving in to reinforce. Like this. Alright. So the only slow-moving unit will be the Kislevite Warriors in here, which ain't too bad. Boris, then you're going to attack this, and I'm assuming they're not going to run. They are not going to run. Valiant defeat. I mean, it is Archaon, the Swords of Chaos, got Chaos Knights, Sparring Champions, Chosen Chaos Warriors, some good stuff. Boris, you already have magical attacks. I think we'll put the Lichbone Pennant on the Boydenov's Brawlers, because the Oath Brothers of Tor already have it. Although I suppose another good option would be the Daj's Hearthblades. They're probably actually going to take a massive amount of damage in melee, so maybe it's better to leave these guys to do the damage while these guys fight. All right, should be fun, man. We're really racking up the battles against the generals of chaos, aren't we?
Think of your partners, your children, your proud homeland. This is why we fight.
Alrighty, here we go. The Red Tsar, Boris Aboka, has arrived on the field, and, well, we'll be facing off against Archaon and a very, very nice army. Now, the enemy does have this army that was still damaged from our first round, our previous battle, and we should try to take advantage and deal at least a bit of damage to them, if possible. That Exalted Hero of Tzeentch, who we were unable to bring down last time, will touch down with those doggos of his, and Boris will hopefully try to kill him off before he can lift off again. And Boris does plenty of damage in melee, certainly not as much as Archaon, but enough to obliterate the hero. The Oath Brothers of Tor are in here as well and have managed to obliterate a unit of Chaos Warhounds, but I think we're going to have to back off lest we take too many of those Marauder Horsemen's throwing axes, as they are liable to dish out decent damage. And it does look like they do manage to bring one of the bears down. Yeah, there's that one kill. Alright, we're going to back off before we lose any more models. Boris will cover their retreat, as he's not really afraid of getting damaged like this. He does have the healing potion and is going to be pretty darn tanky. Trolls are going to try to cover or prevent our retreat. Tactical retreat, mind you. But they should be okay. And here come the doggos. Gonna take a few arrows before they charge on into those Kislevite warriors, and that's just fine. We're happy to allow the Kislevite warriors to take damage, and before the more elite units are able to take their place. Trolls are gonna follow up here. And the Oath Brothers are still trying to get through, while Boris has been left behind, mostly just to try to do a little bit of damage and knock out a few of the enemy trolls, at least until the reinforcements, including Archaon, have arrived. And what do we have here? The Frolickers Bubonic. What did I used to call them? Frolicking Bubonicers? I think I prefer mine, but anyway. Some horses are running around out there as well, or maybe not running around yet, but they will be running away rather shortly. A few more axes chucked at our front lines, but I do like those Kislev front lines with the pistols and the arrows as well. I can't wait to combine, well, we'll probably build at least one sort of heavy ranged army with armored Kossars and Streltsy and Ice Guard all together. Basically any range stuff that we can cobble together in one. We'll have to figure out what kind of monstrous, Ostankya-style unit that we can put in there. Anyway, Boris's minion lord has arrived, Borodin Rybkin, and them they together will heavily damage the enemy Chaos Sorcerer Lord, who will start running away. Unfortunately, he does not run away to safety because the army is still there and still deployed where the river will allow the enemy to take damage. While crossing, our reinforcements have arrived, which means 2 units of horse archers, 4 units of Kosovo dervishes, and we are going to employ them, hopefully to decent effect, to A, go after that hell cannon before it can fire upon our main line, and B, try to lead as many of the super elite enemy units as we can, whether it be the Chaos Knights, the Swords of Chaos, Archaon's personal Chaos Knights, or anything else. Prince Ograx has arrived. He's a Nurglite now? Ah. It's funny. Prince Ograx is supposed to be a beast fiend of Khorne, and I don't think I've ever seen him be a Khornate hero. I've seen him be a Tzeentch hero constantly, and now a Nurglite hero, but never a Khornate one. It's kind of odd. But oh well. Anyway, good job to Prince Ograx. He does manage to deal 3.4k damage all to Borodin Rybkin, who's going to have to back off, while Boris will back off. Not so much to run from the fight, as he does still have his healing potion, but because he does get hit by Spirit Leech from Archaon, who is on the approach. And speaking of Archaon, he's going to start his spell casting, and Archaon has that arcane mastery of his Searing Doom and Burning Head through our line. And of course, when the AI uses the Burning Head, it's not going to peel away, and it is actually going to hit lots and lots of our units. Well, good job to Archaon. It is nice to get a little bit of a taste of our own medicine on occasion. Keep things interesting and all that. Dodge's Hearthblades, fortunately, probably have at least some fire resistance, 40%, on par with the Chaos Dwarfs, and are moving in to help out, though I do wonder, what kind of fire resistance does Archie have? He has none. Alright, well that helps out, because I was worried since they do fire damage, but their armor piercing will come in real handy. Another Searing Doom as Archaon does keep casting, hitting once again the Kislevite warriors and the spiders and armored Kossars. Blobbing them up like this is unfortunately not working so well. Archie, of course, towering over our Kossars and our Zargard alike on Dorgar. I have always loved watching Archie fight, though. He's a pretty entertaining lord for a relatively simple unit, you know, just a horse and the lord. But he does have that quick sort of attack thing that he can do, where he can deliver a lot of damage really, really quickly. That's quite nice. Anyway, Boris will charge in to try to help out as well against Archie, together with the Dodge's Hearthblades. Archie has only shed about 20% of his HP, and, well, that's not anywhere near enough. While we've been distracted by Archaon, however, we have also been distracting the enemy, though it has cost us at least 1 unit of Horse Archers, and I believe a unit of Kossovite Dervishes got caught as well. These Horse Archers got caught because Skirmish is garbage, and you can't trust it, and every time I do, I regret it, like here, because they just stopped skirmishing. But on the bright side, 2 of the other Kossovite Dervishes and the bats have reached the hell cannons and have destroyed them. We're going to keep the bats there to make sure that the unit is destroyed, even though they'll most likely get charged by the Swords of Chaos. Other units, other Chosen and Chaos Warriors, are still on the approach, but of course they are very, very slow. And the faster elements of the enemy army are getting trashed before they, or getting obliterated rather, before they can do too much. Alrighty, firing away at those Chaos Knights. If they choose to approach, they're going to have to brave the blunderbusses of Boydanov's Brawlers. Too many Bs. But they get an A for effort. And damage. 36 kills and 5.6k, not too bad. Let's bump that up a little bit. A unit of Chosen with halberds have arrived, and they are looking to make their way forward. Unfortunately for them, we can stagger them back and suppress them with the with those blunderbusses, slowing them down to a mere 15 speed. If we had the Chilling Aura or Frostbite on anybody here, or even Poison, these guys would be stuck and effectively unable to move. Which I gotta keep in mind for future armies. Might actually warrant getting Chilling Aura in this army. That would mean Feral Ice Bears. I'll think about it. Anyway, ooh, a very nice volley into those Chosen. They just can't make their way forward and have shit about 80%, 75% of their HP. Boris and Archie are continuing to exchange blows, although Boris has tried to repeatedly cycle charge as he's out of healing now and just has to deliver a couple of blows to Archie and then back off. Said army, or Arcane's army, however, is in trouble now, and Arcane is in fact broken and backing away, and the balance of power is at about 65% in our favor. Another unit of Kosovite dervishes down to 7 units, and I think this unit will be destroyed, in fact. But it is what it is. They are still distracting Warhounds and the Swords of Chaos, who have been unable to reach the fight. Enemy Aspiring Champions are working together with Archaon, however, and are probably cutting through a fairly decent number of our units of, well, pretty much anything that they come into contact with. And gotta love Aspiring Champions. I always have to stop myself from building too many Aspiring Champions, because I've always loved the sort of dynamic with the super elite unit with like low model numbers, but of the infantry variety, rather than like monsters. And just cutting apart less elite units and just their hundreds. With only 12. Anyway, it looks like another enemy unit of Chosen, or Chaos Warriors rather, with Halberds have arrived, but fortunately for them, for us rather, unfortunately for them, they are being distracted by armored Kossars, and once again, the Voidinov's Brawlers are going to take advantage by continuing to fire into their flank. Having already racked up 111 kills and 19,000 damage, definitely the stars of this particular battle. Archie has rallied, despite having, what, 10% of his HP, and will send a Burning Head right after the Kislevite Warriors, but it looks like there isn't too much left of the enemy army. 2 units of Trolls and 1 unit of Swords of Chaos. Some of the best units that the enemy had to offer, unfortunately due to the light cav, were unable to join the fray and thus contribute to the fight. Aspiring Champions are broken. Archie, we will not chase. We could have chased him down and killed him, considering how little HP he had, but we're going to try to acquire his defeat trait on the second Lord as well, which will hopefully be pretty nice. Anyway, a very, very nice fight. We suffered a ton of damage on all of our frontliners, however. Kislevite Warriors basically destroyed. Armored Kossars basically destroyed. Another unit of Armored Kossars down to 25%. Another unit of Kislevite Warriors destroyed. Dodge's Hearthblades, our first Zargard unit, nearly destroyed as well, and then several other units here heavily damaged. 2 units of horses, I believe 1 severely damaged and 1 completely destroyed. Boris down to the dregs of his HP. It was certainly a fight. Good job, Archie. If it weren't for our light cab keeping the enemy away and screening us, it might have gone worse. But anyway, Pyrrhic victory and great fight. Ooh, there we go. What a lovely fight. I really enjoyed that, and I completely forgot to get the bonus trinkets. But hey, we won without them, so I guess it's all good. We lost or had to sacrifice 1 unit of Kosovite dervishes. Alas, you will never become Winged Lancers or Griffin Legion, but you sacrificed yourselves for the Motherland. 23k damage and 141 kills on Archie. Hardly surprising, as he was casting Searing Dooms and Burning Heads all over the place. We did 19k damage on those Voidinov's Brawlers. I guess the Lichbone Pennant did indeed pay off for them, as they certainly racked up a solid kill count. We got 12k damage on Boris, though only 14 kills. He was dueling enemy lords and heroes for pretty much the entire battle, though Archie proved to be the stronger combatant. He does also, well, I mean, Archie had, what, 8 levels on him, and probably more points into his fighty tree than we do, so it does make sense. I think we have to heal. We still have to destroy the remnants of these armies. Let me guess the auto-resolve won't let us do it. There's a decent likelihood that that's the case, especially with the Swords of Chaos still there. But anyway, Zaliak provides. We'll do that. And these guys will back up and... Ooh, now that's a question. So we will be able to reach them and chase them down, but the issue will be this. Fator is still here, who we cannot reach, but will most likely go for us. There is also the fact that these guys have set sail, meaning next turn they will most likely move down here. And I notice none of the Chaos factions are fighting each other. Though, ooh, Sword of Bloodshed, nice find. Though Chaos does generally have a tendency, and oh right, the tax collector, gotta remember that. Doomslayer for Boris, that makes a lot of sense. Again, what was the defeat rate for Arbol? Was vigor loss reduction, right? Yeah. I mean, it's decent. I was just wondering whether we should try to march Boris down here specifically to go after those guys. -9 now. We might have to kill this guy off. We might even, depending on where he goes. If he continues moving towards us, we might have to knock out Arbald and head down here and maybe destroy him for good. We don't have another army to send down here. Spamming Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders. Actually a really good call. Good job. Good job, AI. I'm impressed. I wonder if Arbol can reach us. I don't think so. At least I hope not, because that would be an issue. All right, let's try to figure this out as best we can. If we auto-resolve these guys, we'll probably take sufficient oh, right, we want the defeat rate on you as well. We'll probably take sufficient damage where we'll be hurt. I wonder, would you... Warp Licker. You probably wouldn't be able to move to reinforce Fator, meaning Fator probably won't actually attempt to attack us, I would wager. Meaning... we do this, and then... I mean, it doesn't really matter. Let's see what the auto-resolve says about this. And let's see, it will kill off... nobody! Fantastic! Alright, we should... okay, well, we'll swap the items and stuff around afterwards. As long as it doesn't destroy any... oh, wow, it damaged Boris of all the units. How dare you, game. Campaign movement range, useless. Frankly, the healing is so little and the money is so little that none of this really matters. Guess we could take the tiny amount of money, or tiny amount of healing. Do that. Alright. And a potion of toughness and another Van Horstman's speculum. Good, and oh! We could actually reach you. Not with Boris in regular stance, meaning we wouldn't give Boris the defeat trait, but, well, fight after fight, oh, why the heck not? If we could destroy them while they're in march stance. And there we go.
This is my right.
We'll definitely fight you then. Let's go... well, I guess we're going through to Draft Master in order to try to get a Quartermaster. Out of these, I'm gonna say probably Iron Disciplinarian into Draft Master into Quartermaster. We should level everybody up as well. You have Horse now. Person's Roar. Max out Salyak Lullaby and start going through Replenish Troops. You, Yelena Shevchenko. You should max out Gust of True Flight because we'll be spamming it. And I prefer Hailstorm to Biting Wind, which we'll probably be using comparatively rarely. Let's go Freezing Wind, Gust of True Flight. And we could start moving towards Hawks and Blizzard, but I think out of the spammable spells, considering we have low mana, we should probably use those. Boris, is there anything here that would... no colonization cost faction-wide, eh? Meaning we can start raising stuff, and oh, this will combine nicely with that tech, with that boon that gives us a higher level of thing. You know what I mean, right? The higher level of territory claiming. I'm not being very clear about this, but anyway. Campaign movement range. Oh! Population surplus +2 for nearly captured settlements for Lord's army in particular. Okay, so he'll have a fun time in the Chaos Waste, especially if this does work to combine with the other thing. Alright, let's get this for now. I guess it's +10 on all growth for all provinces. We will, or do, still have to reset Boris, but for now he's fighting, and I think we'll leave him to rack up at least a little bit of levels before we reset him. We'll have to sail back to our own territories to do that, after all. Recruit rank for Warbear Riders, bonus versus large for Warbear Riders and Elemental Bears, it's all nice. Frankly, well, we should probably try to get to S1 with Urson as fast as possible. Let's get the buffs for the Band of Brutes, or for the Zargard. It's a fairly significant number of buffs, even with only the single unit. Oh, a moment. Boris. First of all, go back into regular stance. Then, you guys are Streltsiable now, right? Unless I'm mistaken. Oh, but, you know, maybe for this army, well... I still kind of want them to be Streltsiable. Unit upgrades. It's gonna make y'all more expensive, but this is what you were going towards anyway. To go with those Boydenov's Brawlers. So Streltsy it up. Minus you, I guess? Alright, fine. Close enough. That's a lot more Streltsy, which I'm sure will be handy here. Borodin, go after Fator. Unlike Archaon, we won't be able to allow him to escape, but that's fine. And, oh, right, if this was supposed to go on these guys... That's what I get for separating the armies like this. You can have Father Nicholas's mantle. You can put the wailing banner on, I don't know, one of the horsemen. And Razor Standard on... Nobody's really... You know what? Put it on the horses. And put it on these horses. The ones that have some HP remaining, basically. Also, you have 100... Oh, wow. You have 100 Winds of Magic. What do you have available to you? I thought he could cast a few things. I think they're tied to his items, aren't they? Or am I crazy? Maybe he can't. I guess it doesn't really matter. If he has no caster, this is a lot less concerning. Still somewhat concerning, but we should be good. Go.
Nobles, peasants, soldiers, farmers, all are Kislev. And Kislev stands united!
I want them to add a little animation of the spiders cheering. You know how like the infantry and the cavalry, well, basically the humanoid troops all cheer when things happen. I want the spiders to go, yeah. I mean, they're part of the army. They should fit in. Look at the little guys. You get pets. Anyway, here we go. Should be a pretty fun fight. We are still very, very severely damaged from fighting Archaons, so that hasn't changed. And we're going to go after Danny Boy here as well. And the bright side, however, we do, I believe, now have a Patriarch, which should allow us at least to heal Boris, who's down to 5% of his HP or something. Yeah, I gotta heal him up or else he won't be able to contribute to this fight. So, Sally X Lullaby, X2, and the Potion of Healing should get him just above half of his HP, while we get ready to move the rest of our forces in. Alright, and how's Daniel's stat looking? His armor is quite low, 45 and only a bronze shield, but 72, 77 melee attack and defense should be pretty tough to bring down in melee. And of course, we could knock him out of the sky with our Streltsy, I will readily admit it, but I don't think we're gonna do that. I'd rather have Boris fight him. Though, because they're at half HP, we'll probably have to use Boris and the other Lord as well. Anyway, might as well fight down here. The Kislevites will feel right at home with the icy water around their ankles. And here come the first of the enemies. Furies are going to land. We are deployed nicely with all of our Streltsy in the center, together with the Boydnow's Brawlers. Directly behind them are the Kossars, and then the melee units sort of interspersed among our lines. The reason that I deployed it like this was because the enemy has so many of those Furies that they could very well land on all of our range units, and, well, we don't want that. Alright, well, there are Furies in there which we can't really spot due to the poison effect, unless we zoom in real close. Alrighty, well, the range units are just going to have to deal with that as best they can. Boris and the other Lord are facing off against Daniel here. Fortunately, it does look like the rest of the enemies will avoid them, but we're going to back the Patriarch off because, well, that's not a place the Patriarch wants to be. More Furies have arrived, and it looks like, interestingly, it seems that the AI actually interprets the armored Kossars as range units instead of melee units, because I'm seeing that the enemy is dropping all of its Furies and all of its Flyers, basically, on the armored Kossars, which I wouldn't normally expect. They would normally try to drop upon the more fragile range units. They are still attacking the Streltsy and stuff as well, but this is working reasonably well for us, because while the Furies could heavily damage or possibly obliterate units of regular unarmored Kossars, they're not going to win against the armored variant. And... Huh. Is this... Wait, what? Wait, what? A moment. The Oath Brother? Where's the rider? What's going on here? I thought, wait a second, is that bear fighting by itself? We're down to 15 out of 16 units, but a bunch of these bears don't have riders. Maybe the riders can die and the bears keep fighting? Obviously this is a bug, I think. Although I've never closely looked at these units, so maybe it isn't. Alright, anybody know? Do they normally do this? Gotta pay attention to the to Warbear riders. Well, I'm still enjoying the Warbear fighting by itself, even without the their riders. Anyway, Daniel goes down. I wasn't just gonna watch them exchange blows because it wasn't particularly interesting. And besides, I was very distracted by the bear missing its rider. Anyway, the enemy army is starting to dwindle now. Fortunately for us, the majority of their army was made up of rather fragile demonic units, and while we don't have magical attacks on every unit in this army in the same way that we do in Mother Ostankya's, we certainly have enough damage to deal with most of this. I love the battering of the enemy that the bear does there. Huh. It was the same animation. Did boars just grow in size? What the heck? Okay, I don't know what's happening anyway. I just ignore it. We're fighting demons. The Chaos Gods did it. Whatever it is, the Chaos Gods did it. The demons are melting away and only the mortal troops will be left shortly. The Streltsy will, of course, gun down the runners as best they can. And the battle's ours. It took a little bit more damage, but honestly not so bad here. I think we took the most on our various light cav, because we did send the men, and thus several of them got hurt. But I've been trying my best to actually send the Kosovo dervishes into fights to try to get kills and to, you know, get a little bit more XP. Gotta keep using them. I think the auto-resolve might also favor them, but we will want to evolve them to various things, so we gotta get that XP going, or else we'll be stuck with the Kosovite units forever. Very nice fight again. Alrighty, there we go. Another really nice fight. Plenty more spirit essence, and no need for trinkets either, meaning we can keep the essence for more techs and potentially more hexes, though I suppose we should actually probably use some shortly, as in the hexes at least, depending on what the techs that we have available do. We got a decent bit of cash as a reward, and I think we're more or less safe with these two armies. Well, as a matter of perspective, I suppose we remain hurt. Well, we went into this army hurt, and we remain hurt, and will continue to remain hurt for a little while. Still, a couple of very nice fights. We will pardon the captives, as silly as that idea sounds for Chaos. Free Dragon Helm, free Scepter of Stability, Warhorse for our range units, more Diplo relations with Kislev, and 50% casualty suffered from all attrition. Oh, it's all attrition. Oh, that's actually not too bad. That'll include vampiric attrition and, I don't know, magical forest attrition and whatnot, assuming we're not immune to it already. How far can both of you move? Alright, we have got to start traveling back to where we can heal. Also, I really hope that Malachi's super grateful for all this, because those guys would have been obliterating you, sir. You better get to fighting Norska, and you better not need our help for it. And how are you guys doing? Oh! They pieced out with the ecstatic legions and are now... Castalton, what are you doing, man? I mean, it's kind of... I guess we shouldn't be too surprised. Maybe we should be expecting it from him. The Orthodoxy does hate the... does hate Ostankya and the Daughters of the Forest, after all. So them not being super helpful for us does make sense, just that the Orthodoxy is too terrified to do anything about Mother Ostankya, so screw them. Anyway, speaking of Ostankya, we got all the important buffs. I don't remember why I went into her tree here. I don't know whether we'll go for Quartermaster with her army early, simply because we do want to max out her spell tree, and we really need to spend a few turns channeling. You know what, let's finally get Fate of the Interloper. She does cast a lot of things a lot of the time, so it makes sense. And just out of curiosity, yeah, 1 point. Armor plus 10 for Hero's Army. You know what? That'll help with auto-resolve, so we'll do that. There's a lot of other good stuff. And, oh, right, you have all the stuffs that buffs... well, you know what? Since we... Oh, that's what I was looking for earlier. I was looking through these trees for the buffs for the Zargard, because I was originally thinking before we transfer the Golden Knight to Serena Katrin, we'd have her run around with Boris for a while. And so I was assuming that she'd buff Zargard more, and that's where the buffs for the Zargard are. Makes sense. Recruit rank for Zargard. Well, we're not going to recruit their... we're not going to mostly recruit them directly. We need them to go from humbler origins, from Khazar or Kislevite warrior, etc., etc., etc. Now, the... I don't know. Oh! Huh. Streltsy going to be upgraded to Warsled. Oh, that actually does make sense, because Warsleds have Streltsy on them. They do damage via somewhat the bears, but also the Streltsy that are shooting jerks up there. Makes sense. I'm gonna miss the war sleds from SFO because they're more like support units, which Kislev doesn't really have. But anyway, I digress. We did get a little bit of money out of that, so we could potentially build something up if we have anything that's useful. We could finally upgrade the animal den, maybe get a couple of frost rooms in there. Sadly and weirdly, feral ice bears have the chilling aura, and the frost room does not, and it really should. It really, really should. But the frost rooms have been made into anti-large units. They're different in SFO. In SFO, they have the chilling aura, I believe, and are also mortis engines. They have a mortis engine effect. Where in vanilla, they're basically an anti-large monster. They're like a Terrorgeist sort of type deal. Although, to be fair, Terrorgeist are also pretty solid against blobs. But anyway, let's get the animal den up and running. We will eventually have to delete it out of this territory, but it's not like we have the capacity to do so right now. And the rest, we will ignore. Including, wait. Is there anything here that would help us faction-wide? No. Is this a good time to reset Boris is another question. Well, we still have to go after these guys, and if, well, depending on what they do and how they act, we may not want to do it right now. How many more turns until you return? 5 turns. Oh, because I replaced you rather than reset you. Yeah, fair enough. Let's also get this tough Patriarch on field. Expensive though he may be, we need to start leveling those, and maybe let's get another ice switch training. Get some money, we gotta spend it. Can't be holding on to it for too long. No defensive alliances, eh? Alright, fair enough. And we'll keep an eye on the boons as well. Skip, and end the turn. Alright, fun stuff. Are you gonna move towards us? Where'd you go? I guess we'll find out. If they're sailing after us, we may have to fight yet again while hurt. But hey, we're racking up the XP and the money and the boons and whatnot, and we're racking up some damn fine battles, which is why we're here after all. And I wonder, the Wintertooth might be ignoring us to move towards them. Funnily enough, we could reach them here, but yeah, see, this guy's gonna try to go for Temple of Heimkal, isn't he? Devotion for Mother Ostankya. Ooh, Kislev Khazar. Yeah, you keep that. And hello. Upgrade any settlement building to tier 5 will give us an Everfull Kovsh, a breath attack, and a leadership aura. Alright, fair enough. And another brass cleaver, which will be nice. I would really love to go after these guys because we can reach them, but it looks like we have to travel towards these guys instead. So, Boris, you are going to go here. Fortunately, we... Well, we'll see what they do. And I guess you're gonna land. We've kind of traded their armies, but, you know, we'll have to deal with that. Also, want to grab those remnants of battle. Oh, wait. Isn't remnants of battle? Well, I guess we can't go there while they scaling are around, so we can't deal with it. Ice Court. I guess we did Tempest last, so let's do Ice. Like so. And then Ostankya. Ah, so Mr. Ostrogoth is still there. We still need to destroy his army. I see our balls moved away. Somewhat concerning. And you're still unwilling to peace out. Alright, that's not going to be the case after we kill you. Try to go after him. We'll see where he runs. He's not gonna run. Ah. Alright, well, you know what? I would normally probably auto-resolve this because it's a... Well, actually, it's not too horrible. They got 2 artillery pieces, which could be interesting. A couple bolts on Tortorix. Astrogoth himself is also a solid melee fighter, extremely solid. And, yeah, fine. It's just that we didn't have Mother Ostankya fight in this episode, and I feel like it's wrong. So let's fight it now.
You know the horrors of the deep forest. You know what lies in store for those who oppose me. Take heart, for today I am on your side.
Alrighty, here we go. We've fought Archie, we fought Daniel, and we may as well add Astrogoth Iron Hand to all this. The spider's going to speed towards the enemy range units, or specifically the enemy range cabinet. Looks like their charge does severe damage to the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders. Unfortunately, the Wolf Raiders, by the looks of it, are a little bit too slow to escape the spiders. Though I do note that with the slow death having replaced poison, spiders aren't going to be nearly as good at chasing as they were before. Almost makes me wish that it was a toggleable thing, but well, what can you do? Anyway, we've essentially deployed in such a way that most of our spiders were, in fact all of our spiders, are on the right flank here, and they have collapsed the enemy right flank pretty much completely, while we go with our more elite unit, or our, more elite units in the center. Full center renders get hit by our Growl of the Grove and our thing in the woods working together to obliterate that unit of bull centaurs rather quickly. Hell Cannon's still firing away at us, but it shouldn't matter too much as it's wasting its fire on the hags, and the cannon will get hit and surrounded by spiders. Just like, you know, half the enemy army. Alrighty, charging on through, and let's see how we're looking here. The bounce power has already shifted about 80% of in our favor a minute into this particular battle, rather, and I expect it won't be a very long one at all. Most of the enemy right flank has collapsed, their left flank has collapsed, and now they're just the center around Astrogoth Ironhand, who, oh wow, this very quickly manages to take about half HP off one of our hags. Obviously, we don't want them in melee, so we're going to back them off and instead send Ostankya herself to deal with Astrogoth. If you're wondering where the Golden Knight is, she's on the approach. She's still an infantry unit moving at 33 speed, so she's started all the way over here and has been very, very slowly homing in on Astrogoth. Finally getting to the fight. We try to lock Astrogoth in place so he doesn't go anywhere by summoning the things in the woods, the ethereal version of it. I love the way these guys look. Once again, I really feel like Ostankya should be able to summon some as well. But anyway, there we are. Alrighty, and Astrogoth will in fact shatter. Takes about half of his HP, or loses about half of his HP to the Golden Knight, and the rest of his army has shattered, so he's not going to stick around for this one. I'm actually surprised he didn't peace out with us before this, but all good. At the end of the day, it's free XP and all that for us. Nice little fight for Ostankya. She had to participate in this episode after all. Alright, there we go. Absolutely trounced, but that was, well, that was hardly a surprise. We could heal up a little bit, but at 1,400 gold, I think it's more worth it to destroy the army, and hopefully we can chase them down and destroy them fully as well, like so. And auto-resolve, which will probably hurt us more than the actual... Well, actually, it didn't. Go figure. And you know what? Oh, really? It's campaign movement range plus 10 for 1 turn. Doesn't that mean it's nothing? What the heck? Shouldn't it be for 2 turns? Ugh, game. Come on now. Alright, we will take the tiny amount of cash. Small, but something. And we will also go into channeling finally, and then head into our own territory, which drops us from plus 27 to 7. Damn, tempestuous winds and Uzkalak. Would have been nice, but we could still heal here, and then... Okay, you don't need that Kislevite Kassar. We'll give that to Mr. Boris. Like so. Follow the bear, my friend. Ooh, Rampager standard, yes.
Excellent.
These guys don't have Strider, do they? They could really use Strider. In fact, I think maybe Father Nicholas's mantle would be better on them. Frankly, if we could acquire another banner of swiftness, that would be really nice on them. You can also lose the garbage war banner and grab the Kislevite Kassar instead. I suppose there's something to be said for getting war banners on the... oh, you leveled up again. War banners on elemental units because they melt away. Skills, and we're still waiting for rank 12, ain't we? This is all not as great. Local guide, well, I guess campaign movement range in area is not so bad. Growth plus 50. Okay, we'll do growth plus 50. And we'll grab the hero capacities when we can afford more heroes, but for now we're still waiting for rank 12. Alrighty, ooh, yes, another trade quorum / market. We really needed it. Oh, that's unfortunate. The variant of the building that gives us an additional Frost Maiden is also at the cost of the income from all buildings plus 5 in this particular territory, which is a shame, because we do need the income. We did want to also build another one of these silent groves. We really want things in the woods, and unlike other things, we have to recruit the things in the woods directly. So it is expensive. I was also going to build a farm estate here, because we need these everywhere. For the growth and for the money, because, well, we need the money. Oh, we technically don't need the frozen outpost anymore, do we? Because we got the quests completed, so we can ignore those for now. Can we build this elsewhere? I mean, this place with the ports would also be generating a ton of cash as well. Maybe I should have swapped out the Ataman and then put the other one here, but eventually these... I don't feel like doing it. Let's do this and start building everything up other than the Temple of Heimkel thing. We're just gonna hope that these guys can't land in the same turn, and if they can, well, screw me. Market Square for you. Frankly, there's a decent likelihood that we'll need to wall these up, depending on how we do here. It's not like we can afford to put more units in our armies right now, and I also do notice that we need a little bit more orthodoxy support. Because it seems like it's always just a tiny, tiny bit behind the other thing. And behind Ice Court support, which might mean we want to put, Somebody has some kind of bonuses to it, though. I don't recall who. Oh, wow. Bigger loss reduction, pretty massive melee defense. Just gonna check out what this does for us here. Champion and Kislev. Now, we'll go through Golden Ages, so we'll want to grab a Kislev Unite, I guess. Allegiance points gained plus 30% for alliances with Kislev. Just get the bonus relationships with Kislev. It's still useful. And I guess we're going through all of this first. Fine, fair enough, fair enough. Not that other stuff isn't really, really useful, but, you know. Faction-wide usefulness generally is better than non-faction-wide usefulness. Fyodor Eltsov, you're gonna go out here. You got another army to join. Everybody has to have a patriarch. We got a fleet-footed. I prefer the strong ones. They're kind of fragile otherwise. Or not strong, tough ones, rather. And the extra armor and stuff will be really nice, especially in combination with the warbears. Also, while we're at it, Saliak's Lullaby. I feel like they need to make Tor's Battle Hymn and other stuff better, because they're good, but they will never be as good as regen, as healing. Especially for a faction that doesn't have other sources of it. So I don't think anybody would ever take these over, especially Daja's Song of Sunlight. Yeah, vigor loss reduction is fantastic, especially in SFO. In vanilla, it's kind of bad, to be honest. But anyway, Boris Ursus, you can grab, I guess, Brother of Bears, and continue moving this way. Teensy bit more, in fact. And then you guys are just gonna have to sit here for now, until we figure out what to do with your armies and how to swap them around and all that. Anyway, I believe, unless there's building... Prague, yes, there is buildings to be built. Let's upgrade you. Definitely. Gotta get that Grand Market up and running ASAP. How many turns does it take to actually swap a... Oh, it takes one turn for them to get there, right? Yeah, just stay there, whatever. Skip and turn. Alright, and oh wow, we are definitely starting to run out of time now. Let's see if Temple of Heimkel Temple of Heimkel gets attacked. Astrogoth, oh, well, you want peace now. We'll do it. I don't want to head down here right now because Stank is busy. We'll go down there after. We'll see if they reclaim Uskalak. Frankly, it would be helpful to us if they did, because if they do, then we can retake it instead of... Oh, wait. Actually, Boris... Well, if we send Boris down there, he could take it at tier 2. Alright, come on, please don't be able to reach Temple of Heimkel. There's Throggy and such. Let's see where this guy goes. He'll land and get himself killed. Well, that works. It works nicely for us. Gospodar Bloodline available as well. Oh, and I just got a hero up and running as well. Committee for State Security. Corruption. Frozen Landing. The Patriarchs descend upon every home, rooting through drawers and overturning bookshelves in search of any hint of heresy. Countless Kislevites are dragged from their beds and executed. Who can say how many were innocent? Nevertheless, purity, or at least terrified obedience, is restored. You. I assume this guy's gonna run. I also assume... I'd love to get some levels on this guy, but probably don't want to delete any units here, especially the ones that are trying to rack up XP, and then we'll have to loop back around to go after Stig Aisling. What about Ostankya? She unfortunately cannot reach our ball, but what she can do Though it will cost us... Wait. Oh, he's just out of range. Guess we could risk moving here and see whether he attempts to go for Fort Dwarslav. In ambush stance. I assume we are close enough to the place to... Unfortunately, it'll probably mean that we won't be able to reach, Carrick Doom in one turn, but if we can wipe out Arball's main stack again, that would be swell. Oh, building knights now. Huh. I like that he built one knight unit to replace his unit of, unit of Skull Crushers that he had earlier. Also, I should have remembered what exactly we were going. We have the garrison rights, which was important. I think it was 3 turns. There was something really nice that I saw and then promptly forgot about. I'll take another look at it between the episodes. There's so many that I just end up forgetting what it is that I specifically wanted. Research +1 for each settlement. That ain't bad either. I do like the construction time reduction as well. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Anyway, let's see what else we need to do. Ooh, yes, another new ice court thing, and I guess we're just gonna go for court agent again because the others are terrible by comparison. +1 here capacity for patriarchs. Alright, and building, we've got, yes, please, merchant traders everywhere, all the time. And, ooh, lots of upgrades, buildings, whatever, to be built here. Trade quorum, and I guess that's another trade quorum here. We should have a lot of relations with other Kislev factions now. And let us go for Market Square here as well. We don't really need the Gospoda as much anymore, so I think maybe we'll actually start building the farmstead here. Frankly, we could eventually get rid of the animal den here and then replace it with the witch's hut, because we won't have room for both the farm estate and the hallowed forest here. And you should use both, and right now we need all into econ. This is +2 devotion, and frankly, while I do love the growth, we can maybe get it back via the farmsteads. Though I really do want to get the things in the woods. But once again, they don't necessarily have to be built here. It's Eastern Oblast for you, and then we'll keep this at tier 2 for now. And you know what, screw it, just build the farmstead. Replace the growth that we're about to lose. Alright, back to you. You're in ambush. Borden Rybkin is fine as he is. Boris will have to attack without reinforcements, but I'm sure he can handle himself. Alright, do we got one more fight in us this episode? What's the time? How are we doing? Not well, but... Can I say no to another fight? One more fight. This is kind of turning into Boris's episode, which I can't say no to. Let's get another point and replenish troops, and then resistance protection, just in case javelins start hitting ya from the enemy army. And rather than getting more spells, I think we'll max out scouting right now. It's kind of funny that Boris is using Borden's army, but it is what it is. Anyway, go after... Wait. Can you reach this? Oh, you can go into this guy's army. You know what? That's probably safer. Go into this guy's army. I'm not going to delete anything because units need to be transferred, become a Kshina, etc., etc. Once we separate this into 3 armies. And you're gonna run? Please don't go too far. Guy, stop it. Alright, and then we'll go after you here. Alright, this is a victory, etc., etc. We'll get the Father Nicholas's mantle on the Oath Brothers of Tor so that they can have the Strider, which they otherwise would not have. And then the Rampager Standard, which I was gonna put on you, I guess we'll put on... put it on Boris, why not? Make him charge a little bit harder and get him some nice dueling. Oh wow, that's way too many spears. Y'all made a big mistake here, go.
We must win this day, for who else can stem the chaos tide?
Alrighty, here we go. The Oath Brothers of Tor have some kind of fancy enchantment on their armor that Boris does not. Go figure. Alrighty, well, here we go. Should be a pretty fun fight. I think in particular, I really wanted the Streltsy to do a little bit more work, as when we fought Daniel, they didn't get the chance to. At least they didn't get the chance to do too much range work, as they were busy fighting all those Furies in melee. Here, however, I'm sure we'll get many a volley, and we're not going to wait for the arrival of our secondary army, and we'll see what our range units can do instead. Alright, here we go. Voinov's Brawlers getting ready to fire as well. And Boris will lead the charge through the enemy army. The Oath Brothers, together with him, will go directly for the enemy lord, while the rest of the enemy will take shot after shot. First from our Streltsy, and then from our armored Kossars as well. And they do have to brave a heck of a lot of gunfire to get to us, and you gotta love Kislev for being a very gunfire-centric type of army. Always very fun to watch. And the sound design's a lot more enjoyable than the than Arrow variant armies, at least in my opinion. Alright, there we go. It looks like a few of the enemy melee units are moving on in and hitting our armored Kossars, but our Streltsy continue to fire. It does look like a few of them will get charged, once again, hybrid units, and they should be able to fight the enemy off, especially with range support helping them out. In the meantime, I believe Boris has, by and large, defeated the enemy lord with the decent ease, and we are still in the fight on our right flank, where we have the most number of enemy units that did not get obliterated by the range fire. Which, fair enough. We're going to drop a Hailstorm on a blob of enemies that were pinned in place by our units of Kislevite warriors. And, of course, ooh, nice swing from those Watchmen in the Night. Of course, the Kislevite warriors probably got clipped a little by the Ice Storm, but that's just fine. And that's what they're there for. Once they level up to more elite units, then we can be worried about them taking casualties. But they gotta earn that right. Or perhaps privilege, I should say. Anyway, looks like the enemy's flank is now dwindling in number as well. Obviously, the entire center got completely obliterated by our Streltsy, which was pretty fun, and then we got a little bit of action for the melee troops as well. Brothers of Tor will continue, Oath Brothers, I should say, will continue charging the enemy down until we get the last of the enemy units shattering. And until the battle is ours. Looks like it's just about here. There we go. The chain route arrives. We drop one more parting shot of bombardment of Tor lightning. Just because it looks cool. And with that, it's ours. Lovely. So the duration of blinded is 7 seconds. Well, not anything crazy, but I suppose once you charge on and you spam or use the Call of Tor, not to do damage, but to apply that blinded effect, and then you can fight a little bit more, or dish out a little bit more damage on that charge. Will also probably work out well, or more, better, whatever, once we have a few more of the Warbear Riders available to us. Anyway, nice little fight. I'm excited to see what the Streltsy can do. Of course, they're not going to be in Boris's army, but they'll have their own army to shine in. Alright, there we are. Very, very nice. Another Norscan horde destroyed, and our boons, or rather our support, has evened out as well. Let's take the money. Gotta keep that econ flowing, and then turn right back where we came from towards the frozen landing to hopefully defend against Gaisling, who in theory shouldn't, I hope, be able to attack this, because if he can, then Borodin is gonna be in trouble. Channeling Staff, another Kislevite Kossar. I think every lord has one now, so we can ignore that. We also have picked up a few items in this episode, meaning we should probably be able to turn at least a few of them into something more useful. Take out the Channeling Staff and the Scepter into a Potion of Healing. Very nice. Dragon Helms are useless, so we'll fuse those as well. Sword of Antiheroes, solid always, because it gives us magical attacks, and I like putting these on hybrid lords, like the Druzhina Lord, because they can thus get magical attacks out of both the melee and the range. Do we bother keeping the Mana Subversion? I just still find the Rampage too finicky to use. And we got a Fencer's Blades out of it, which is solid. Alright. Other items, you know what, we'll do the itemization, I think, more or less next-ish episode, mostly because we need to sort of swap a bunch of these armies around. It's getting a little bit incestuous here, as they just keep using each other's stuff. But anyway, we will leave, I think, on that note. We don't have time to fight any more battles, and there's a decent likelihood that we might be able to get the ambush going with Mother Ostankya versus Arbol. So we'll start with that, and possibly the Wintertooth, who have once again skipped right on by the Masters of Innovation. I see there's a little bit of a return of anti-player bias, so yeah. And also, there we go. All that bonus to Kislevite relations means these guys are really liking us now. And just out of curiosity, military access with these guys? Yeah, sure, why not? I was mostly just looking for trade with the with other factions, but we don't have enough trade good buildings, unfortunately, as yet to make good use of them. I also see that the Ice Court is doing a pretty good job at wiping out the... Oh. The Bone Rattlers are done. Because the Dirt Colossus here, they don't dislike us. Drika, minus 80, yeah, they're not liking those treaties with the Ice Court, but that might change if we can federate these guys, so we'll have to see. Anyway, pretty darn fun campaign so far. I don't remember the last campaign. We had so many big fights so early in the campaign, especially while using relatively basic units. It's been pretty darn fun. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to the engagement threshold for the long episodes. I forgot about that again. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.